And Nico Denz comes to Italy and does it again. A hat-trick of victories for the popular German. Red Bull Border Hansgrohe salvaged something from the Giro, and Denz does it again.
Stage 19 then, and the first of two massive days in the Alps to determine the outcome of the Maglia Rosa. A total of 5 classified climbs along the way from Biella to Champoluc in the Valle d'Aosta. A real test of GC credentials for not just Isaac Del Toro but all the other riders looking to make strides in the general classification or to ride perhaps for a stage win. Egan Bernal in good spirits, Derek G looking to consolidate his high standing in the general classification, starting the day in 4th place. A reshuffling on GC, very much likely, as Isaac Del Toro looking confident, the Maglia Rosa, the first of 2 big days to defend that jersey. Kilometre 0 then saw the flag drop, and the attacks eventually came when we hit the first classified climb of the day. Georg Steinhauser teasing out a powerful group of 4 riders, including Bart Lemmon and Matteo Cattaneo, as well as Nicola Prodhomme from Decathlon AG2R. It was Cattaneo who powered them on towards the top of the first climb of the day. As behind, the pressure was still on. 4 riders in a stage like today, not enough for a big breakaway. Georg Steinhauser led them through the first intermediate sprint, with Mads Pedersen sprinting to pick up 1 point in the Maglia Ciclamino in 4th place. And then a big counter-attack, driven on by Chris Harper, as a group of over 30 riders eventually got clear, heading towards the first Cat 1 climb of the day. Mads Pedersen also involved, doing what he could to keep the momentum of the big breakaway group moving, as UAE controlled behind and the gap grew to very nearly 3 minutes. Christian Scaroni took the first maximum 40 points at the top of the first Cat 1 climb. And then Alessandro Tonelli picked up the second and final intermediate sprint. On to the second Cat 1 climb of the day then, and the big breakaway group at the front of the race started to splinter. Meanwhile, Red Bull Border Hansgrohe took up the pace setting behind in the group of favourites to try and set things up for Giulio Pellizzari. After Red Bull Border Hansgrohe chewed through their resources, at the front of the race there was a very select group of no more than half a dozen riders heading towards the top of the climb, and behind, Isaac Del Toro was following the pace setting of Visma Lease Bike and of Israel Premier Tech. Nicola Prodhomme then went over the top of the second Cat 1 climb of the day in the company of Carlos Verona. That group, though, would come together on the descent again, as they opened up a lead of 27 seconds over the chasers. And it was Carlos Verona and Antonio Tiberi in the white of Bahrain Victorious who went through the Red Bull kilometre in 1st and 2nd place. Nicola Prodhomme then, alive to the danger that those 2 riders represented, counter-attacked from the chase group, got across to the front and put Antonio Tiberi temporarily into difficulty. Those 3 riders then were together until 28 kilometres to go when Nicola Prodhomme attacked and was never seen again, instantly growing his advantage. UAE Team Emirates piloting the Maglia Rosa to deter attacks, and Nicola Prodhomme building up a big lead over the rest. Carlos Verona and Antonio Tiberi back in the remains of the peloton, being driven on by Rafa Majka. And Richard Carapaz attacking with Simon Yates and Isaac Del Toro, but unable to shake them off. Nicola Prodhomme over the top of the final Cat 1 climb of the day, the Col de Joux in 1st place, with a healthy advantage of over a minute to the Maglia Rosa group. On to the final categorised climb of the day, the Cat 2 climb, and close to the top, Richard Carapaz tried again to shake Isaac Del Toro. This time Simon Yates and Derek G unable to respond. Del Toro then straight onto the wheel of the Ecuadorian, and those 2 riders going clear and building up a lead over all the other GC favourites. Carapaz not looking round and not getting any help from Isaac Del Toro. A counter-attack from Giulio Pellizzari of Red Bull Border Hansgrohe, too little, too late from the Italian climber. Derek G bringing him back. Meanwhile, at the front of the race and over the final climb of the day, Nicola Prodhomme had a lead of over a minute and pretty much secured his victory in that moment.
The best, holding off a GC chase to boot as well, over a monster climbing day of nearly 5,000 metres, 3 Category 1 climbs and a testing descent after the last Cat 2 climb of the day. Prodhomme, a winner at the Tour of the Alps a few weeks ago. This is the Giro d'Italia, this is the biggest stage of his career, and he's done it! Prodhomme the victor of stage 19 of the Giro.
Emptying himself, but delighted with his achievement, the winner of stage 19, Nicolas Prodhomme. In second place then, the battle for the bonus seconds, with Isaac Del Toro comfortably taking second place ahead of Richard Carapaz in third. Then Giulio Pellizzari overcooked the final corner in the chase behind, as the rest of the favourites finished in the same time, conceding seconds to Richard Carapaz and Isaac Del Toro, who is one big step closer to the Maglia Rosa in Rome. Nicolas Prodhomme then onto the top step of the podium as a stage winner. Triumphant result for the Frenchman from Decathlon Éditoire. 58 seconds his margin of victory ahead of Del Toro and Carapaz in the end. And the Maglia Rosa taking another giant leap towards securing the overall win of the Giro d'Italia, moving to 43 seconds ahead of Carapaz, and Carapaz, his biggest rival now, Simon Yates, over 1:20 down. The Maglia Ciclamino, Mads Pedersen, still with a massive lead, unassailable control of the points competition, and Lorenzo Fortunato mathematically secured the jersey today in the King of the Mountains competition, his nearest rival, Christian Scaroni, with no longer enough points to threaten his teammate.